Jesus Christ, Joe. What do you do?
Wait! Let me go. Please.
You just come after her.
What the hell am I wearing?
Just take it easy. Drugs are still wearing off.
What happened?
We found the fireflies. Turns out there's a whole lot more like you, Ellie. People that are immune. There's dozens, actually. Ain't done them a damn bit of good, neither. They've stopped looking for a cure. I'm taking us home.
So I had a lot of people, and I mean a lot, ask me my thoughts on Last of Us Part 2. First off, I've never done a review before. I feel like if any game is warranted one, it is definitely this one. This might be a long video. I don't know. It might be short. I'm just going to kind of ramble and talk about the things I liked and didn't like. I'm not trying to sway people one way or another. I just felt like there's a lot to take in with this game. It's not just, oh, it's good or bad. You know what I mean? I feel like there's so many things in it that people don't even realize. Even myself, you know, I had to like study stuff just to kind of come up with some kind of like thing to say. And, you know, for me personally, I spent 51 videos on it, which is a pretty long series. It was about 23 hours. So with that being said, thank you for your support you dropping this video, by the way. If, I don't know, this thing does well, I may do reviews in the future for other games, but this is kind of like a one-time thing. I played the first game twice on my channel, and this game, I don't know if I'll ever play it again. I don't know if I will. I feel like maybe in like a year or two, I might check it out again in my spare time, but I kind of needed like a break from it. The overall, I guess my summary as far as like thoughts on the game, I felt like it's a very tragic story. You know what I mean? I felt like nobody wins. By the way, there's going to be spoilers from this point forward. So if you don't want to be spoiled from this game's ending, Last of Us ending, Walking Dead Season 1's ending, and Uncharted 4's ending, if you don't want to hear any of those four things, click away now. Because I'm going to kind of compare stuff. So I feel like the way the story was told, a lot of people, I think the general consensus is nobody liked Joel's death, you know? I don't know one person is like, you know what, Joel got what he deserved. And I think the game does try to show you both perspectives. Abby went through hell, losing her dad. I think, before I get into pros and cons, I think here's how I would have done it. Now this is just, I was out taking the trash out one night, and I sat in my driveway for like an hour writing this down. I'm going to kind of skim through it. But here's my general way I would have probably done it. And I don't know how I mean, obviously I wrote this very quickly, so it's not polished up. There's a lot of plot holes probably. But I feel like you could start the game the exact same with Joel and Tommy talking about what Joel did at the hospital. Have Ellie and Dina still, like, the relationship still going on. And instead of Abby hunting down a man named Joel, let's say that she was hunting down Ellie. Like, to see what happened. Like, all she knows is her dad was killed by somebody who rescued Ellie. That's all she would know, right? She wouldn't know the guy's name. She knew it was a guy. She just didn't know the guy's name. And let's say Abby was a loner. I feel like that would make her a more likable character. I felt like you could make Mel, like the leader of, what was like the WLF, whatever the thing was that Isaac was the leader of. I always forget the names, like the acronyms for it. But you can still have the same events. You would have the same story with Owen, where she cheats, or where he actually cheats on Mel when she's pregnant. And maybe Mel finds out, kicks Abby out because of that. You can still show the same flashbacks, but make her in the beginning not be next to Owen, but be by herself. You know what? Nobody's going to help me. So then they cast, like, Mel's, let's say she's high up with Isaac at the WLF, and they're like, you know what, if you see Abby, you can kill her. Doesn't matter to me kind of thing. And Abby's trying to survive against them while out on her own, but she's also got to worry about the scars and stuff. You know what I mean? Make it more challenging for her. I felt like she had so much help in this game. When she killed Joel, it just felt like she didn't have, like, there was no obstacles for her, because from her perspective, she got revenge on her dad, and then the rest of the game was just like, oh, you know what, we're just living life now. You know, obviously there was a drama. She had to run into Lev, and him and his sister were really awesome characters. You can still have the same thing. So what I would have done is I would have Jesse is more utilized. Maybe like have, in the beginning you play as Joel maybe a little bit more. Maybe for a few hours you just play as Joel. I don't know. Have it to where if the game's going to be 25 hours long or whatever, something along those lines, make it to where the first 5 hours, let's say you play as Joel. Then you do 10 Ellie, 10 Abby. Something like that. And you can kind of mix their stories together a little bit. But make the start kind of like Joel getting to know Dina, Joel getting to teach Jesse. Like, remember when there was at the like the dance or whatever, when Dina and Ellie kissed for the first time? Obviously, Jesse was Dina's ex who got her pregnant. Well, you would just kind of make it to where Joel learns about Jesse, and that's when he's talking about, yeah, he used to help me with the patrols and kind of show me the ropes. It could show Joel interacting with all the main characters on Ellie's side of the story, which is only a few. There's Jesse, who I thought was very underutilized. I can't speak. Very underutilized. Dina, who wasn't really in the game much. I felt like she was in a few scenes with Ellie. She was obviously in Seattle day one with Ellie. So obviously she was part of the gameplay experience, but we still don't know a lot about her. You know what I mean? Because people are different when they get around other people besides the same people they're always around. So like she's around Ellie, she's one person. She might be a little bit different when she's with Joel, just kind of learning everything. Maybe he goes and helps her do something, you know? So you have Joel more implemented. Well, make it to where Abby finds out maybe that Ellie, there's a girl named Ellie at this place, and she's going there now. And then on the way there, Tommy and Joel together. And this could be a thing where you're playing as Joel, and one of the instances where you're with Jesse or Tommy or whatever, have them save Abby. Same instance. But instead of Abby having a big old group with her, it just be her. And have Tommy or whoever that's with Joel just say, hey, you know, be careful. You know, don't say your name. Don't, like, and it's like, make Joel be true to his character. You know what I mean? And have it just to where maybe Abby doesn't know who Joel is. And so within the first 5 hours, you're also showing Abby the ropes. You could even play as Abby and have Joel as like a character, kind of like Dina was to Ellie, and just make it to where Joel's there more. Abby understands Joel. Joel doesn't mention anything about what happens, anything like that. She doesn't know he has any relationship to Ellie, you know, like father figure and all that. And just maybe over the course of the first few hours of the game, have Abby open up to Joel just a little bit, you know? And then have Joel spend, I don't know, Seattle day one getting her back to the aquarium, and he gets her back there safely. So he knows where Abby stays at, right? And then Seattle day two, you then control Abby for a little bit. She's going out for supplies, and she gets captured. And Joel goes there to, like, hey, we're supposed to meet up again. I was supposed to show you how to do this or that today, and you weren't there. So he tracks her down, finds she's been captured. He goes and rescues her. And this is kind of like, it could be, since she's outcast from the WLF, or whatever the abbreviation is, you could have also the Scars are after her, or not really after her, but they think that she's still part of that other organization, you know? And just, you know, kind of do it a little different. But then maybe, let's see, I guess you could probably have it to where when Abby's out looking for supplies, maybe even have Ellie with Joel, and that's just a day that they're together. And all of a sudden, they go there. He goes, hey, you don't have to come with me, but I got to go rescue somebody. They need my help. They're not here. And he takes her to the aquarium and leaves her there, whatever. Or they both go together and try to save Abby. Ellie doesn't know who it is, but she's like, if it's anybody that's important to Joel, it's important to me. And as they rescue her, maybe she finally recognizes Ellie without saying anything. And it's like a slow burn type thing. You know what I mean? It could just be, I mean, you could do it so many different ways. You could say, okay, since she's an ex-Firefly, Abby I'm talking about, you could just have it to where maybe they're all headed back to the aquarium and Joel gets captured and killed that way, but she doesn't try to stop him, and Ellie gets captured but not killed. Ellie escapes and then goes to the aquarium to ask Abby what the hell happened, and then as she gets there, she sees other people who are like scars or whatever, and apparently Abby's a scar and we didn't know it, you know, like some kind of twist. And then she spends the whole game on the run from Ellie. And then let's say you don't find out why Abby didn't save Joel until the end of the game, and that's when it flashbacks to her dad saving the zebra, and then Joel breaking into the hospital, killing everybody. And then it's like, then Ellie can either kill or not. You know, she didn't kill Abby anyways, so you could have had it done that way. But she could have, along the way, she could have, while on the run from Ellie could have been chasing down anybody that was related to Abby. Like, why the hell did you let Joel die? You know, and she could have killed all the same people. Maybe not Mel and Owen, because they'll just keep them as flashback characters, right? And then make it to where she still runs into Lev. She still gets hung up or whatever, and Lev saves her. Lev and his sister. Still the whole thing where they go to Haven, try to find the mom, you know? Keep all that stuff in the game. The Rat King area, you could, like, all that stuff for Abby's section would just be untouched, basically. Except she wouldn't, like, she kind of knows more about, okay, this Ellie girl might come after me, I don't know. And then, I don't know, have the ending where maybe she finds out why Joel was killed or not saved, really. So it wouldn't be put so much on Abby. It would just be her inaction versus her actual action in the game, you know? And then maybe at the very end, you have Tommy kill Abby or something, you know, and Ellie try to stop Tommy. And it just, you could have done a lot of different things, I felt like. But that's, you know, again, I wrote that in my driveway. It's not polished up. I know there's a lot to take in. But that's kind of my general, how I would have done it. The whole instance where they're on the farm, you could keep literally all that stuff the same. Literally, you could keep all that stuff the same. You would have to change certain characters around their roles in the game. I felt like, let's talk about the pros of the game, and then we'll talk about the cons, and then that'll kind of be it. I don't want to stretch this video out too long. I just had a lot of people ask me my thoughts, and I thought I gave a pretty thorough, I guess, thing, you know? At the end of the game, I always beat the game, then I talk about it in the credits. I only talked for about half hour, but so this video might not be that long considering I've already kind of given my general thoughts on it. All right, let's talk about the game itself, what actually happened, the things I liked. Seattle Day 1, really well done. The open world aspects with Ellie and Dina, really awesome. I gotta drink something. I usually don't talk this much without any kind of distraction. Hold on.
The host. She's a child, not some petri dish.
You think I don't... I'm aware of the situation.
And you're okay with killing her?
No, I'm okay with developing a vaccine that'll help save millions of lives. How many fireflies have died for less?
That was their choice. Are you asking me? Or are you telling me this is how it's gonna be?
I am begging you to buy in.
And what if this was Abby?
Sweet Jesus.
Doctor?
What are you doing? I won't let you take her. This is our future. Think of all the lives we'll save.
Making a vaccine would have killed you. So I stopped them. Come on, baby girl. I got you. I got you.
Cover the exit. Don't let him get away.
You can't save her. Even if you get her out of here, then what? How long before she's torn to pieces by a pack of clickers? That is, if she hasn't been raped and murdered first.
It ain't for you to decide.
It's what she'd want. And you know it. Look. You can still do the right thing here. She won't feel anything.
All right. But yeah, I felt like the Seattle day one was very just, it was a breath of fresh air. Like, we're free roaming in a Last of Us universe as Ellie. How awesome is this? You know what I mean? There's all these hidden things. Like, one of the things that's also kind of hidden is these little cards. And if you guys don't remember, in the first game, Ellie was in the back seat when Joel's driving, and she had this comic out. And that's what those cards, I'm pretty sure, are based off of. And I feel like there's also more meaning. You know, there's two sides of this game. There's two perspectives. I felt like there's more meaning about those cards than probably meets the eye. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. But, you know, every card, it's like hero or villain. Well, in this game, by the end of the game, who's the hero, who's the villain? You don't know. They try to make Ellie out to be this really bad person. She's mean to Joel. She kills a pregnant lady. You're having her kill dogs. All this stuff. And when you play as Abby, you're saving a zebra with your dad. You feel like the world's against you because of what happened to your dad. You're surrounded by friends that love you. And, you know, there's drama, obviously. But she's playing with dogs. I mean, it's just so many things. And she's doing all these things. She saves Lev and his sister, you know, and is there for Lev every step of the way. Abandons the WLF when Isaac kills Lev's sister. And it's just like, does everything kind of Joel did to Ellie in the first game. Show her the ropes. You know, Joel did everything for Ellie. Showed her everything. So I feel like they try to paint the perspective, but I think as far as pros go, the gameplay, spectacular. The sound was amazing. I felt like the parts where you get into combat and it's super loud. It was really quiet, just chilling. Granted, I did play with music off, and I know music's a very big part of the game, but I'll be damned if I lose a video because of a 7-second clip on a half-hour video. But ultimately, I felt like the game overall, gameplay-wise, was spectacular. The combat was brutal. The guns you get with Abby were way better than Ellie's. I don't know if that was intentional or what, but the guns in the game were awesome. The upgrade system was very useful. I felt like it was very straightforward, and it's just like the first game. You know, rags and bottle, make a Molotov cocktail, whatever. You know, it's just like, it's the same general concept. And I felt like they did a good job with that. The encounters was another thing. The overall encounters for Abby and Ellie's stories were amazing. I felt like the second half of the game with Abby was more action-packed. The stuff where you're going to Haven with Lev, you know? That whole riding out of the Haven area on a horse with the areas on fire, you know, like that right there was awesome. The Rat King area. That whole entire encounter with Abby was unbelievable. I felt like Abby's character in general, if they had just done it different, I felt like it still would have been a story. But I think people got blinded the minute Joel died and the way he died. He was careless. He walked in there. People said the word uncharacteristic a lot. I feel like it didn't feel like, it didn't feel like Joel, really. You know, and I could say that because you watch the entire first game. He's driving over strangers that say, hey, can you help me? He's doing whatever he can to protect Ellie. He doesn't trust anybody. There was a scene in the first game where he hops through a window, right? I forget the other two characters' names. But the son comes out with a pistol after Joel and the dad are wrestling, and it's just like, he called his name Joel, not because Joel spoke it out. You know, like he didn't say the name Joel. Ellie was kind of talking about it. So, and it just, I felt like he was very cautious in the first game. And I'm not going to say it was uncharacteristic. Like, maybe in the 4 years leading up to that event of him getting beat with a golf club, I felt like maybe during that time, all those encounters with Abby, not Abby, but Ellie, all those encounters with Ellie, you know, Maybe just he kept getting softer and softer. And it's a 4-year difference from the end of the game and then when he died. So I'm pretty sure that's the timeline. But I just felt like that, it wasn't like Joel. You know what I mean? And I felt like maybe if they had also done it later on in the game, even if it was the exact same events, have it to where, I don't know, Ellie doesn't watch Joel die, but she finds out, you know, through the grapevine. The fact that she's there and then it's like, okay, I'm going to kill everybody in this room throughout the game now. And then some. You know, that's the whole, like, I don't think the whole plot is revenge is bad. It's perspective and the suffering people go through in their life. Like, you don't know what anybody else is going through. If you go to, like, the gas station and the clerk's bad to you, or, like, mean or something, or just kind of short with you, they obviously are having a bad day. They don't hate you. People go through stuff. That's just part of life, you know? I'm sure there's times where I'm like that in public. I don't know. So I just feel like they're trying to convey it in a sense of, we're going to show the perspective of both of these characters during these events that were around Joel's death. After Joel's death, we're going to show Ellie and Dina, you know, in Seattle, day 1, 2, and 3. All the way to these events, up to the point where they get to the aquarium and then the game switches. Now we see Abby's side. All about that perspective. But I think the perspective is what kind of hurt the game a little bit for me. I felt like in order for me to feel bad for Abby, right? Her dad has to be like a saint. But that's kind of where it's a problem. There's a scene in like the middle of the game, right? Right when it switches to her. Right as soon as they save the zebra, it shows a cutscene of the leader of the Fireflies at the time, who was at the end of the first game, and her dad, Jerry, I think is his name. Them talking about, well, what if you're wrong about killing this little girl? And it, you know, Ellie was like, what, 14 at the time? There's no even guarantee they get a cure. And even if you find one, what's to say it doesn't, let's say it takes years to create it because of you found, like, if you find it takes months or years, let's say the whole thing hasn't just like, by then it won't matter or something, you know? There's no chance to really know that. Granted, people are still alive 4 years later in the game anyways, but like, I just felt like there's a lot of risk and it's at the expense of a little girl named Ellie, you know? And she asked him straight up, what would you do if this was Abby? Would you do the same thing? And he hesitated. He would not do it. So he was kind of always saving the world, but he's being very selfish. Like, you almost wish it was not Ellie. Or, like, if it was Abby that was the one, like, maybe you find out through the game that she's the one that could have been killed. Then that's maybe the reason Ellie, at the end, would actually kill Abby. He's like, oh, you can't be affected either? Like, what the hell? He could have chose you instead of me, like, and, you know, and then just this downfall of emotions, just she drowns her or something. I don't know. But, you know, that's, I guess, overall, the game, pro-wise, I felt like gameplay, awesome. Story was well told, I'll say that. It definitely kept me hooked. Granted, I was making a lot of videos. I mean, when a series like this comes out, I get excited anyways, but I think there was no bias in there. I felt like when I saw Joel die in my part 4, I just was like, I was done. I'd mentally checked out. And then when you had to play as Abby directly after, I don't know if I would have continued. But I knew in order for me to get to those moments of playing with Ellie and then seeing those, man, the best part of the game, the Joel flashbacks. It's like Last of Us 1 was in there somewhere, you know? Those are the best moments in the game for me. First time, he takes her to this, like, science museum. They hop in this little machine, and he hands her the tape, and it's, you know, you hear, like, we have liftoff, and it's, like, the countdown and everything, and the way they did the visuals with everything shaking, and you see, like, the sun, it's just so well done. Those moments, and then it's just, like, them walking through the woods, her falling in the water and stuff before that, it's, like, the joking around. Then the second flashback was like the one with Tommy starting out when you're like trying to snipe stuff. Tommy's showing you the ropes. I thought that was a really cool portion. I felt like we had, out of this 23-hour game for me, I felt like we had about an hour and a half of Joel and Ellie, maybe 2 hours total, depending on, actually it might have been closer to 3 hours because I did kind of take my time. I don't remember exactly. I felt like each flashback was like a half hour long. you know? For the most part. There was, I don't know, it's just, there's so much to take in. And then the scene where Joel finally tells Ellie, like, hey, if they would have killed you finding a cure, you know? And then it's just like the stuff at the dance where he tries to defend her and Dina. You know, the guy didn't like them kissing. Oh, this is a family place. You know, the typical conservative old white man, you know? Like, I just felt like they could have just done things a touch different to make the story just spectacular. I felt like it's a very just gut-wrenching game. It's not bad by any means, but it's also, it's like watching a dark movie. You know what I mean? It's like at the very end, you're like, man, that was, you know, it was a good movie, but it's like, I don't know if I could sit through that again. You know, watching people get tortured, people get killed, everybody dies. It's just like, it's just sad on both ends. At the very end of the game, I felt like nobody won. Abby didn't win because Ellie let her. I think at the end, Ellie was just like, man, what are we doing? You know? You've just been tortured and hung up with Lev. He's on the verge of death. You don't even know how much longer he's got. Abby might die on the boat on the way out. We don't even know. And then she just lets her go, and it's like, I can see some people, oh, she killed Joel. You should have got eye for an eye type thing. But that was eye for an eye for Abby. Was her dad died because of Joel, and then she killed Joel. So she got what she wanted, but she also lost everything. She lost everything. Would the ending been better if Abby died? I don't think so. If Ellie died, it wouldn't have been good either. If, like, I felt like, how could they actually end the game in a sense that, okay, we got Tommy coming back and just, hey, here's where she's at. You know, had that whole thing not even happened, I would have probably had the exact same feeling. Maybe like, man, I hope we get revenge, but then we want the full experience. It's like at the end of Shawshank. Well, I don't want to spoil that movie, but at the very end, well, you know what? If you don't want to hear the spoiler, click away like for 30 seconds. I'm going to do it now. When Morgan Freeman's on the bus to go see Andy, you know, he says he hopes to find his friend. They were going to cut the movie off right there, but they wanted to show them meeting up on that beach. They said, we're going to stop the film here. They wanted to have, they had to show that to people. They had to. And I felt like that was such a powerful moment, seeing them hug on the beach like that. You know what I mean? But I don't know. How, the cons of this game, I guess the overall thing for me is Abby was likable in the portions where she helped Lev. I liked, my favorite characters for Abby were Lev, his sister, and that's it. That's it. I would not have ever dreamed of ever liking Abby, and I never really did. Once she killed Joel, I was just like, okay, I don't care about her, you know. I think her friends hurt her character more than anything. Owen was unlikable. Manny was forgettable. He got shot by Tommy in the head during that sniper area. I didn't know that was Tommy, by the way, when I was playing. I found out after the fact, and I was kind of amazed of how well they did that. Because it happens so fast when you finally get up to Tommy and you push him out in the water. I was like, why didn't she kill him? And then it's like, oh, I was like, oh, shit, that's Tommy, you know? But, yeah, I don't know. That's, it's a tough game because the characters I liked were Dina and Jesse for Ellie. Obviously, we like Ellie. Obviously, we like Joel and Tommy. That's going to be the three characters that are always going to be liked. As far as new characters, Dina and Jesse were awesome. I liked them a lot. I thought Jesse was a very solid character. He's willing to help any way he could, and he paid the price. Just, it sucks. Dina, I'm glad she didn't die. She seems like a really cool person in real life, too, from what I've seen on like YouTube and stuff. She has a channel, I think. But it's kind of like with those two characters, we got Dina left over, and JJ at the end, the baby that's born. I think Nil did confirm that the second J is not Junior. I wonder if Joel Jesse or Jesse Joel will be like the name of the baby. That would be kind of cool. Because both characters, you know, got killed in this game, so I don't know. But I kind of wonder if, I don't know. I think part 3, obviously we're going to get one. This is one of the highest selling PlayStation games ever, I'm pretty sure. From what it outsold God of War and a lot of other stuff. I feel like we're going to get a part 3. maybe, I don't know, maybe Tommy's going to be pissed. What, you didn't do the deed? Like, you didn't go kill her? And he goes after her. And Ellie's like, no, don't do that. Ellie's trying to find Dina. Tommy's trying to find Abby. And it's just this endless thing. I don't know. Whatever it's going to happen, it's going to happen. It's going to be crazy. But that's just my initial thoughts. I know this video, I don't want to be too long on the video. Oh, fun fact. I mean, this is my 4th review I've done, by the way. First one was about half hour long. I just kind of rambled. I had no structure. I didn't have good valid points, I thought. I went back and listened. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to upload that. Second up, the second review I did was over an hour long. Like an hour and 8 minutes, I think. And I'm never going to upload it because I went back and listened to it, and I just felt like it was just pointless, you know? And then I tried, I think yesterday, I had like about 15 minutes, and I just kind of gave up. This is the first one I've got through, and I'm just like, you know what? I feel like this makes sense. This is my general thoughts. I usually don't do videos like this, but if you guys, I don't know, if you guys have any suggestions what they should do for part 3, how they could do it, I guess, obviously, the first portion of this video, I talked about what I would have done. Maybe I wouldn't have done that. Maybe if Abby was just not surrounded by just bad characters. I felt like Lev was an awesome character. I thought that was the best character on Abby's side of the story, right? Owen, Manny, Mel, all forgettable. I don't like any of them. Isaac, who cares? You know? But Jesse and Dina were really strong characters, I felt like. I don't know. I kind of wonder, would Abby have been more likable had she been alone? You know what I mean? Because she seemed to kind of have her little entourage when Joel died. Manny walks up and spits on Joel, like, pendejo or whatever he says. And it's like, that wasn't necessary. Honestly, it makes Abby just look worse. And I think the last thing she needed was people around her that were just unlikable as well. I think if she was unlikable alone, and let's say the first 5 hours of the game you play as Joel, you go visit Ellie, then you save Abby, but then you help Abby get back to the aquarium all through day 1. You're spending time with Abby. She's opening up. And then maybe she doesn't kill Joel, but let somebody else take her out. Or take him out, I mean. And just not, like, do it in a way where she doesn't have people on her side. She's always had nothing or something. Ever since the whole incident where she has Owen cheat on Mel outcasts her, you know, like, get the hell out of here. You can't ever come back. And now you got a target on your back. So now she's hiding out at the aquarium and stuff like that. You know, just make her more likable that way. But, you know, that's just my opinion. Obviously, I'm just a YouTuber. What do I know? I'm not a game developer. I don't write scripts. I don't really ever do stuff like this. I wrote this in my driveway. It took me about an hour. I was taking out trash one night, and I started writing on my phone. Just pulled up a notepad and just started just clicking away. So, and I'd take stuff out, put stuff in. That's kind of how I would have done it. I feel like you could have this huge twist. Even if, like, Abby wasn't, like, a member of the Scars or something, you could have it to where you don't find out about what happened to Abby's side and why she did everything she did until the end of the game, right when they're on the beach. She's like, I never meant to hurt you, but this thing happened to me. I'm sorry I killed the guy that is your father figure, but he killed my dad. All right? Like, if she had just talked to her like that, I felt like maybe there would have been some kind of peace there, just a little bit. But it was just misery. Ellie had nothing at the end of the game. She even lost her fingers. That's why she left the guitar. She couldn't even play Joel's song. The last thing you've seen were Ellie walking through the field and the guitar at the window. She left the guitar behind. Obviously, Dina's gone with JJ. We don't know, or Jesse Joel, or Joel Jesse, whatever you want to call it, the baby. That's what I'm guessing that's the name, since it's not Junior. It could just be a smoke screen. I don't know. But you see her walking off in the distance. You don't know where she's going. Where does she even go from there? She lost everything. And I don't know. I feel like it's just tragic. Lev and Abby, you think they're, like, going to go away and be happy together? Like, they just went through torture. They may not recover. They may even die on the boat. You know, storming and stuff. They might go somewhere and get captured. Who even knows? But that's it. That's all I got. Overall verdict, I thought the game was really good as far as what they were trying to do. the quick list game I thought was okay. Like it was a good story. Gameplay was spectacular. The events, the encounters were really awesome. So overall, the game was good. I'm not gonna say Abby sucks, game's bad because Joel died. Like there's more to it than that. Abby was unlikable. But I think what's more unlikable is the people around her. You know? I felt like Abby just was gonna lose from the beginning. And I feel bad for Laura Bailey. She was like trending on Twitter the other day. And I said something about it on my Twitter. It's people give her death threats because she was the voice actor. Pretty sure she wasn't even the motion capture for that thing. She was the voice actress for Abby, you know? And she's getting a lot of hate. She's going to be in so many different things. She's been in so many different games that I've played over the years, and it just sucks to see people not be able to distinguish between the actress, the voice actress, and the actual character in the game. Like, she's personally responsible for killing Joel, so that's crazy. But anyways, that's all I got, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I know I just kind of ramble. I try to kind of, I guess, keep this to a half hour, at least around it, so I'm not overwhelming you guys. I got hours of me just rambling about this game. So, story was good. Graphics were good. Gameplay was spectacular. Abby was unlikable. Her characters around her, her little side of the story, besides Lev, I didn't like him. That's it. That's all it boils down to. I hated Joel's death. Everybody hated that. We can't get him back. It sucks. It really does suck. You only get one chance to make something, and you kill Joel. It really sucked. It really ripped my heart out when he died. But from that point forward, I was just like, okay, I got to pick up the pieces and just move on, you know? I have to. I got to see what this thing is trying to show me. And I felt like Abby's character just wasn't likable from the jump. She became more likable as the game went on. But by the end of the game, I really didn't care if she lived or died. Like, when Ellie was sitting there drowning her, I was just like, you know what? If she lets her go, if she kills her, I'm past it at this point. Because Ellie might even feel better that she didn't kill her. She maybe got to the point where she's like, you know what? She could just feel the legs struggling, and she's like, you know what? I can take her out right now. Just to have that power over her. But she just decided to just pull back a little bit. You know what? Get the hell out of here. I don't want to see you. You know? And as far as the things I mentioned early on about The Walking Dead's ending, Uncharted's ending, I guess I'll kind of briefly go over that now. How Lee died at the end of The Walking Dead Season 1, right? Everybody hated him dying, right? But it was an honorable thing to go out because he taught everything to Clementine. Hell, I named my daughter after that character. And I felt like nobody wanted Lee to die. He was such a good character. But the way he died, you have a choice to shoot him or not. She runs off afterwards no matter what. Crying. Season 2 starts like a year later, whenever they did the next season. I felt like it was very powerful. I'm pretty sure I cried a couple times watching that. Even if I go back and watch it now, it's misty, you know? There's just somebody cutting onions in the room next to me. I don't know what happens. But then you look at the end of the first game, you know, Joel does everything he can to save Ellie. Even kills the leader of the Fireflies on the way out in the elevator. And then you look at, that's 2 Naughty Dog games in a row, right? Well, actually, they made Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy. Let's talk about Uncharted 4's ending. Probably one of the most chill endings to a game I've ever seen. I think that's the end of the Uncharted franchise as well, if I'm not mistaken. They said they're done with that. They made Lost Legacy with the side characters. But I felt like Uncharted 4's ending was just so good. Like, it didn't, you know, his daughter and them finding out, like, that chest of all the stuff he's done. It's just like, it's like, you know what? We've made it here. This is all the things we've done. This is it, you know? And it was just kind of a nice nod to Nathan Drake. You know what I mean? The send-off, or whatever you want to call it, is pleasant. Then you look at Joel, and it's just like he's getting beat to death with a golf club for saving Ellie. And it's just so night and day difference. I will say this is the most bold game I've ever played. Bold as in, I can't believe they did that. So, it's an experience. If you guys, I would suggest playing it, deciding for yourself by the end of the game. Obviously, if you've watched this spoiler kind of review, If you want to call it a review, it's just my thoughts, really. I felt like that's pretty much it, you know? You gotta just play it by yourself without any kind of distractions and just see how it makes you feel at the end of the game. I didn't know what to feel. I literally, a game like that, it didn't, like, I beat Final Fantasy VII Remake. I didn't really feel anything afterwards. I was like, well, you know, that's a cool ending. They changed, you know, some stuff here and there, but I didn't sit there and think about it for days. This game still, like, weighs on my brain, and I finished it, like, over a couple days ago. And it just, I don't know. It's a lot to take in. But I thought the game, overall, was a good one. It obviously sucks Joel died, and Abby's section was really well done, even though she was unlikable. I didn't like the characters around her besides Lev. And that's all it boils down to. That's really all it boils down to. That's the good and the bad. So, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for everything. I will see you guys when I play Ghosts of Tsushima. I was going to actually take a break and not make videos for like a week or two and just kind of chill out. 51 videos in a week and a half kind of burned me out just a little bit. I think it's also this game's just so emotionally draining. So, you guys rock. Thank you so much. I will catch you on the flip side. Take it easy, guys.
Hey. They got what they deserved.
But she gets to live.
Yeah. Is that okay?
It has to be.
I struggled for a long time with surviving. And no matter what, you keep finding something to fight for.
Now, I know that's not what you want to hear right now.
Swear to me. Swear to me that everything that you said about the Fireflies is true.
I swear.
Okay?